fam and our bulletproof business friends. Hey guys, super excited that you decided to join us on this live training. We are here a minute early or so, and so I wanted to come on live and just say welcome, give you guys a second to get notified and hop on. And if you're here with us, let us know where you're coming from. Let us know that you're here. We want this to be a dialogue, and ultimately we want this to be one of the most valuable and concise training times of your week, where you are investing in yourself, investing in your business growth. And together, guys, we're unleashing our full potential, making the biggest impact in the world we can, and leading healthy companies and healthy lives, right? That's the goal. We want healthy growth. And that's a huge part of what we're all about here at Unleashed. And so I'm super excited to share with you guys today a training that I think is really going to help some of you. We're going to be talking about how to stand out from the crowd and how to make your message heard in a world that is very crowded and very loud. And there's a lot of white noise out there in today's marketplace. And frankly, I think a lot of the marketing advice that exists in the marketplace today actually sabotages and short circuits a lot of leaders' ability to truly cut through the noise and make their biggest impact. And so I'm really excited to share that with you guys today. I can see some of you guys hopping on. Welcome, good to see you. And guys, we're gonna dive right in and really go after this topic together. So if you're excited, let me know in the comments. Let me know below that you're stoked to be here, and let us know you're here with us. And we are gonna get going today, guys, talking about how to stand out from the crowd. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen, and we are gonna get going here. Okay, I think this is gonna work. Awesome. Hopefully you guys can see my screen okay right there. And Unleashed Academy fam, again, this is typically a private client only training, but as some of you guys know, we've actually been really just opening up our archives and our vaults to our bulletproof business community, because we believe in this season more than ever, entrepreneurs and business owners need to link arms as we go through this crisis and help each other thrive, not just survive. And so that's what we've been doing. But Unleashed fam, we're super glad you're here. We're going to talk about different on purpose and how to stand out amidst the noise of the market today. So I want to start by acknowledging the problem, right? And the problem is that we have a crowded market. We have a oversaturated, sophisticated market where, because the bar of entry is lower than it's ever been to start a business today, with that also comes a level of market saturation and sophistication. We can't ignore that or avoid that. And if we do, we're just really out of touch. And many of us, really, this isn't a surprise when I say this, because we already feel this on a day-to-day basis. We already wonder in our own heads if, man, am I in too sophisticated of a market to truly scale and grow? Is that why this feels so hard? Is my audience just too sophisticated? Maybe they just are kind of already cynical about the solution that I bring or the products that I offer, and therefore they're just unwilling to buy at the level that we need them to grow. And if we're honest, some of us are looking around at the landscape and we just feel intimidated by our competitors. And guys, real talk, I've been here. I'm in one of the most competitive niches there is, right? Which is business consulting. And there's so many amazing people in this space, just real talk, so many smart people, so many people with amazing degrees and, all sorts of pedigrees and all sorts of social proof. And it's very easy to get caught up watching your competitors and feeling a little bit insecure or intimidated. I know so many entrepreneurs I've talked to, this is a struggle for them. And even though it's not widely admitted or acknowledged, it's there. So the question, guys, today really is, how do we stand out from the crowd? How do we cut through all of the white noise and make sure that the important message or product that you have to share with the world gets out there and that it reaches the people that you're called to reach? And so here's what I kind of want to give you guys a heads up on where we're headed today is this. We're talking really essentially about the idea of differentiation. And that's the problem for many of us, is we are not clear on our differentiation. We're unclear on it. We don't know what it is. We don't know truly what makes us different, what sets us apart. And because of that, we are missing out on our unfair advantage. And guys, I want you to hear this, because this is important for some of you who have been in this game for a little while and you forgot this somewhere along the road. The things that make you different are that which set you apart. So if you do not figure out how to embrace your differentiation, then you will always be vanilla, so to speak. And apparently nobody likes vanilla, although my wife and I love vanilla. But that's kind of the idea here, is like you actually have to figure out how to be different on purpose. And I think this is so interesting because there's so many business owners I know, and so many that I get to consult with and lead, so many of our amazing clients who, when they come into our process, they are stuck on serving a market that they don't love or a people group that they don't truly feel aligned with. And they didn't necessarily start out with that intention, but they kind of by osmosis picked up from their market that, well, this is just the way business is done. This is just what people want. This is what, how things have to look. And so they kind of just, got, in with the crowd and started doing what everybody else was doing. And they fell out of love with it because they lost their differentiation and they became like everyone else. And now they don't even like it. And we've got to get unstuck here. And the key is refinding and re-examining your unique differentiation. And so I want to kind of confront a common misconception that I see in this space, because the reason why I think so many of us feel insecure when we look at our competitors and we have trouble figuring out what it is that makes us different is because we have an obsession with our competition. Now, let me clarify something, because I don't think anything is wrong with the idea of competition. I'm a very competitive person. Okay. I love being competitive. I love playing the game to win and giving your all and running as if to win the race and take home the trophy. Okay. I'm all about that. But the reality is, what most business owners call competition or competitiveness is truly masking something else. It's disguising something else. And it is actually the unseen killer of their business growth. And it's not comparison. It's not competition. It's comparison. It's comparison. And the two could not be more different. Whereas competition is running your race, giving your all, and going after it to win. Comparison is being obsessed with looking at what everyone else around you is doing and being focused instead on that, instead of being focused on running your race. And guys, this is a killer, and we've got to kill this killer. We've got to end it. It's like a killer stalker movie. Like, we've got to take that sucker out and get out of the fear and the comparison, because guys, comparison is toxic. Comparison kills contentment. And I believe comparison actually kills drive. Comparison kills hunger. And I know so many entrepreneurs who are operating on this toxic mental regimen. I don't know what mentor gave them, where it's like, beat your competitors, you're going to win, you're going to crush them. And they get obsessed with what other people are doing, and they forget what it was that they set out to do in the first place. So we've got to kill comparison, guys. The first step you must take to get clear on your differentiation is stop trying to be like or beat your competitors. Stop it. And guys, I'm speaking from experience and painful past history here myself, okay? I have been this guy where I've gotten caught up comparing myself to my competitors and gotten lost on what I set out to do. It's almost like in Star Wars, I can't remember what that alien is, but he's like, it's a trap when they're going to the Death Star. And it's like that. Comparison is that kind of a trap. Okay? You're never going to be a better version of someone else. And you've got to focus on becoming the best version of you and allowing your business to become the best brand of you. And I really believe, guys, that when you do that, you can enter a category of your own and have no competition. And at that point, you are only competing against the highest and best version of yourself. That's the goal. That's where I want to get to. I don't want to be competing against my competitors. I want to be competing against the best version of myself, the self that I know I can be. And when we do that, things like, instead of comparison and obsession and all these toxic emotions, we become obsessed with excellence and with radical service. And that becomes our definition of success. Okay. So we got to kill comparison, guys. A little healthy competition is fine, but make competition truly be competing against the best version of yourself. Okay. Now I want you to imagine this with me. Imagine this. Okay. Imagine if being different on purpose was a powerful strategy to win in business. How freeing and how liberating would that be? And I'm just here to tell you, it is. That is the truth, y'all. It is a powerful strategy to actually be different on purpose. And I want to say there is a caveat here, okay? It's not just being different for the sake of being different, okay? It's being different on purpose. And there's a big difference. Some people I know are just obsessed with being different. They just want to be unique. They just want to be a unicorn, rainbow, hippie. I'm sorry if that's offensive to anyone, but that's kind of their mindset. They just want to be different for no reason other than to be different. And at that point, you may end up alienating the people you're called to serve, okay? But if you're being different on purpose and you're intentional about assembling the puzzle pieces of your design and who you are and your value system into a unique, differentiated position in the market, I'm telling you right now, that is a powerful strategy. Your differentiation has to be assembled correctly to be a powerful strategy, but it absolutely can be, okay? And that's where I would say this. Your tribe, my friend, is waiting. Your tribe is waiting. I believe that for every one of you listening, there is an underserved market and an unled tribe waiting for you to show up and shine for them. This is so important for us to understand. My mentor calls this finding your field of favor. It's the place where the gift your business has to bring is celebrated and needed by a particular group of people. And I believe, guys, that there is an underserved market. There is a tribe waiting for you to show up and shine. And you simply have to allow them to find you. They are looking for a leader like you, and you simply have to allow them to find you. And the way you do that is getting clear on your differentiation. And once you get clear, you can put out the call and they will come. Once you get clear, put out the call and your tribe will find you. And that is what's so powerful about finding your differentiation. So guys, I want to say it this way. How do you find your differentiation? And this was a phrase one time when I was asking this question that came to me. And I actually believe it might have been a spiritual intuition, might have been a gift from God. And it was this. I heard this phrase that your differentiation is found in integration. Your differentiation is found in integration. I believe that there are puzzle pieces spread out across your past, your present, and your vision of how you see your future, that if assembled correctly, would form a complete picture of your unique differentiation. And it's only found when you integrate those different things together. Your differentiation is already inside you, my friend. It just has to be mined out and assembled. And that's in the remainder of this training what I want to teach you guys how to do. And I call this unique place where your differentiation comes together into forming this beautiful, complete picture. I call this the convergence zone. The convergence zone. It is the place where the unique puzzle pieces of your life come together into convergence and into integration. I love this phrase that says success leaves clues. And for you to be successful and stand out in the marketplace, there are clues written into your past, your present, and your future that, if assembled correctly, will create this thing we call convergence. And as a result, highly differentiate you and make you stand out. How many of you guys are interested to know how to create the convergence zone in your business? Find your differentiation through integration. Well, that's what we're going to be tackling in the remainder of this training. So put your thinking caps on, take your notes out, and begin to jot things down as they come to you as I give this to you guys at a high level. Here we go. So Creating convergence. I'm going to give you guys in the remainder of this training 3 keys to doing that. How do you create that convergent zone and bring together the clues that success leaves? Here we go. The 3 keys to creating convergence, the 3 things you have to bring together into integration to find your differentiation are as follows. Number 1, it's your past history. Your past history. Like I said, success leaves clues. And to create convergence, we need to bring in the experience of your past and the breakthroughs you've gone through and the things you've walked through to find your differentiation. The second key is your present identity, and the overlap between your past history and present identity. Who are you? What do you stand for? And what makes you unique and different? There are clues there, my friend, that will bring you into a place of differentiation. And then the third and final one is your future prophecy, as I like to call it, your future prophecy. And when you understand how these 3 things converge and properly integrate the pieces that you find in them together, you will find your differentiation. Like I said, friends, this is already within you. When you bring together your past, your present, and your future, you bring together your history, your identity, and your prophecy. And by prophecy there, I just mean the vision out ahead of you, the words spoken over your destiny, the things you believe to be true about your future, right? When you bring those things together and integrate them, that is what I call the convergence zone. The convergence zone. And it is possible to discover this in your business. So I'm going to give you guys a couple ways to find this out. And let me just say this, guys, when you find this out, when you strike the gold here, you're going to find that miraculous things begin to happen. You're going to have breakthroughs. You're going to have insight. You're going to see things you haven't seen before. There's going to be things that almost like were hiding underneath of your nose that suddenly come into picture. And you go, how could I have missed this all along? Let me show you guys how this works one by one. Let's talk about past history. How can past history, when properly integrated, create differentiation and cause you to stand out? Here's how. First of all, some of you guys don't see it right now, but you have drifted from your original vision. Vision drift happens over time, guys, but the past, when properly analyzed, pulls you back. And sometimes that's exactly what some of us need, because we've gotten lost along the path, and the path back is the past. It's going back to where we first started. It's going back to where we began. It's going back to why we started this business in the first place. Going back to that place and examining our past history sometimes gives us clarity on what we need to revert to, okay? Because many of us have drifted from our original vision. We've allowed circumstances to pull us off course. We've allowed the demand of paying the bills or making payroll to, create decisions that we regret, to create strategic business moves that weren't truly aligned with what we set out to do. And that might be one of the keys for you to bring your life and business back into convergence and find your differentiation again, is stop the vision drift and allow the past to pull you back and find the path back to purpose right back where you started. Okay. So let me give you a practical on this. The most practical key I could give you to examine your past history for differentiation is go back and write down what I call a testimony chronicle. Now, this is a very spiritual term for me, pulled from my kind of faith and heritage. But the idea of a testimony is like a victory. It's like a moment in time where you fought a battle and you emerged victorious. And I want you to go back and examine those moments in your life and chronicle them, right? Chronicle those breakthroughs. And I'm going to give you a couple of categories to think about this in. One is, what have been your biggest personal breakthroughs, right? The biggest breakthroughs you have experienced that you may be able to pass along to others, whether it's your team or your clients or your market. What are the big breakthroughs in your story, written into your story, that you could pass along to others? Another big thing to look for is, what are the biggest breakthroughs you have brought to your best clients? What big breakthroughs have they experienced? Make a list of those, celebrate those, but then examine them for clues. Like, are there threads that connect between those different breakthroughs? Are there corresponding things that you've just never seen before that your business does better than your competition consistently for your best clients? But maybe you're just not focused on bringing that breakthrough to that specific group of people. That could be a way that this could bring out your differentiation. Another thing I always encourage people to do is examine their past favorite clients. Why did you love to serve them? Why? Why was it such a win for you to work with them? Why do you remember their story that stands out from the many others that you have served? Why? Examine that and analyze that past history. Mine it for the success equation here. And you're going to find that there's differentiation in there. There's something different and unique that you do or about the people that you serve that's written into your past. There's something unique about the breakthrough that you bring that others cannot match and cannot touch. And this makes me think about a recent client I worked with. We did a little bit of a half-day offsite with him to really deep dive some of his business positioning. And I remember as we talked, I was just asking him all these questions about some of his favorite past clients. And as it came out, as it tumbled out of his mouth, it was almost like his eyes just kept getting wider and mine kept getting wider because there was all of these common themes among them. But when we looked at his business was totally unfocused on serving that demographic. And that demographic was actually the people he felt most aligned with, loved to serve, got the best results for, and yet he was constantly putting out fires in his business, serving people he didn't love and wasn't best equipped to help. And no wonder his business had become this thing that he didn't love anymore, that he had lost his passion for. No wonder they couldn't scale and grow at the rate that he wanted to. No wonder he felt stuck trying to lead and manage his team in the direction of an unclear vision, serving an unclear group of people. And as soon as we got this aligned, man, impact started to flood through his mind. He started to have all this fresh vision and all these ideas about how to align his systems to artfully serve that group of people that he loved and could bring the most breakthrough to. So I'm going to tell you guys, this is powerful and you're going to want to take time and do this. Assemble your testimony chronicle and watch as the threads start to connect and convergence begins to happen. But we're not going to stop there. That's only the first piece of these 3 keys that will lead you into convergence. Next, we have to examine your present identity. Your present identity. What is your present identity? Who are you at the core? Maybe another way to look at this is, who is your leadership team at the core? What do you value? What do you stand for? What makes you righteously angry? And I'll tell you this, friend, if you haven't woven your identity into the DNA of your business, you will always be subconsciously fighting against your own success. You will be self-sabotaging and not even realize it. The very best companies on the planet right now were started by founders who had such a strong identity. It just wove itself into everything they did, into their culture and into who they are. I think whether you like him or hate him, a great example of this is Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs embodied an identity of innovation and excellence and ease of use and simplicity. And it oozed out into Apple's culture. And it's now the very computer that I'm serving you on right now because it's simple and it's elegant and it's innovative and it's excellent. But that didn't come just from a clever strategy. It came from an identity. And some of you have never mined your present identity, who it is you choosing to be, and examined how to integrate that into your business, into your industry. There may be keys hidden in your identity that would completely revolutionize your industry, that would flip tables and literally disrupt industry's trends and position you as a market leader that's distinct from all the other corruption and wrongness in your industry. What is your present identity? And how could you integrate that into your business? I think this is so, so important. And a practical here for you guys today on this is I'm going to encourage you to review your identity statement. Now, if you don't have an identity statement and you're watching this, you absolutely need to go find one of our trainings on that and do that first. But your identity statement is simply a set of I am statements that you arm yourself with daily like armor to go out and wage war that day. These I am statements anchor you in who you're choosing to be and the identity that you're not only adopting, but you're also evolving into. And we teach you guys how to do this in our process pretty artfully, but it's very clarifying to go back and mine your present identity and discover who it is you're choosing to be and what you value and what you stand for, and then write that out as a set of powerful I am statements. And when done correctly, this really forms the basis for transformation in your life, true sustainable transformation, but it can also radically transform your business. I'm going to encourage you, go write out those I am statements and then go see where you might be able to artfully insert that identity into the DNA of your organization, into your business's positioning. I promise you, this key will bring differentiation if you choose to take the time and deep dive your present identity here. Super good stuff, guys. All right, last and finally, key number 3. Key number 3 is your future prophecy. Your future prophecy. To find your unique differentiation and stand out from the crowd, you're going to need to know what your future prophecy is. Where are you headed? What does your business actually do? What impact does it create in the world? Long term, what is your destiny and the destiny of your business? What is the long-term destination you're headed to in the future? What are you prophesying that you will become? I love this because in business, we call these forecasts, and a lot of times they're just earnings based. But really, it's the idea of prophecy. It's putting out into the future who you're going to be and where you're going to go. And then here's the question. For many business leaders, I would challenge you with this. Do you know how the impact-driven dreams in your heart connect back to what you are doing now in your business? Can you make that connection? And the truth is, if you can't, then alignment probably needs to happen, because you are always going to find it hard to accelerate in a vehicle that you are not sure is headed in the right direction. Okay. If you are uncertain that you are headed in the right direction, how many of you just put the pedal to the metal and go completely in the wrong direction, right? That would be foolishness. Who would do that? And yet that's what many business leaders are doing. And they can't figure out why they can't grow and why their team won't grow. It's because they are not clear on the connection between their long-term future prophecies, the places they want to go, the things they want to do, the impact they want to make in the world. And they cannot clearly connect that back to the vehicle of their business and what they're doing right now. And I'll say on the inverse, when you do make that connection clear, the future becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You will accelerate towards that destination if you're clear on how to get there. And so this is, again, really important, guys. We go over this deep in our 5 Ps positioning and your purpose plan and understanding how those align. But I'm going to give you a practical today that's a little bit different. And it's what I call a prophecy archive. And for me, this is a very spiritual exercise. I won't hide it. These are words that I feel like God has spoken over me. That may not be the same for you. That's okay. But write down on paper your vision. Write down where it is you feel destined to go and who it is you feel called to be in the future. And what things are you projecting out into the future? And then you need to be looking for connections between that future and what you're doing now, and be able to draw those connections clearly. A really great example of this, again, is a recent client I worked with, and he didn't at all realize that he had this massive dream in his heart to serve this highly influential group of people who had resources and wealth. And then in his heart, he has all of these impact-driven dreams to serve the inner city. And he saw those as disconnected. He was like, well, here I am serving these wealthy people. And then what's really in my heart is I want to serve people who are poor in the inner city. And when he suddenly, through our work together, made the connection that if he served this wealthy client he felt deeply aligned with, that those people were the people who would have the influence and resources to actually fund the dream in his heart to transform the inner city. And when that happened, he went, oh my goodness, my business is a vehicle that's actually going to get me to my vision. Put the pedal to the metal. Let's go. And suddenly he's now able to clearly communicate to the market his differentiation, because he's not just like every other business owner doing business and trying to make money. He is someone driven by impact to make a difference in the inner city. And that's going to be a differentiating factor for him. And the same is true for you, my friend. You got to make a list of your prophecy archive. What are the future visions you have? How do you align that with what you're doing today? And how do you make the future a self-fulfilling prophecy? Yeah, guys, hope this speaks to you. So these 3 keys, when brought together, I believe will bring you into the convergence zone. You've got to bring together your past history. You got to bring together your present identity, and you've got to bring together your future prophecy. And when you do, convergence will happen. And this is how you differentiate and stand out from the crowd, is bringing those 3 things together. So guys, I hope today in recap that you will take the exercises I just gave you and begin to list out your testimony chronicle and your past history, that you'll begin to write out your I am statements, your identity statement, and who you're choosing to be. And you'll write out your prophecy archive, where it is you're going, and then look for the unique, differentiated threads that are going to reveal to you how to bring them into integration and convergence to find your differentiation in the marketplace. Guys, I believe if you do these exercises, you're going to be stunned by the miraculous breakthrough that comes, and how much more clear you're going to get on how to position your business to stand out from the crowd, cut through the noise of today, and actually be in a category of your own, putting out the call to the tribe who is waiting for you to show up and lead them. All right, guys, hope this training speaks to you, and go get after those exercises, go take massive action. And we can't wait to hear the stories and breakthroughs that follow. All right. Hope this was helpful, friends. We'll talk to you all soon.